I'm a co-founder and CPO of Cuemby. We are here at KubeCon CloudNativeCon North America 2023 in Chicago. And I would like to take this opportunity to share what we're doing here, our experiences at the conference, and also introduce, about Cuemby and then Cuemby Cloud Platform. So, great. Angel, Jose, would you like to share?
Okay, I think we're going to save the best for last. That would be Angel in the good sense. In the good sense, why? Because I think he's going to let us know one of the biggest secrets that we have been preparing on the background, and especially for the community of developers around Latin America in the world. Why not? That we understood that DevOps it's one of the most used cultures and ways to make it happen in the tech world. And why is that important? Because basically we have to define a fast, easy way to scale up, to implement, and of course, that's our core business to deploy applications. Angel, tell us a little bit how to deploy applications in a very good, fast pace and almost less than 2 minutes. And one of the things that before he takes into accountability everything that we have worked as a company is why from TechCrunch to KubeCon has merged a lot of things and a new concept and a lot of ideas have developed, not only as a company but as a product, because I think that's important to tell people and the community why we're DevOps and why we're unleashing DevOps uh, hero superpowers to all developers.
Yeah, thank you, Jose. Thank you for telling me. Yes, well, for those who may not know me, I'm Angel Ramirez, the CEO of Cuemby. And yes, going to the to your introduction, you told me about what we want to do here. It's like, so let's kind of do like a fun conversation. I have a couple few slides that I want to share in a second, but the first thing is like maybe answer the question like why we here at KubeCon, right? So the first thing is that we consider ourselves a community company. So therefore, why not be in the best community conference that you can find? Also, we are experts in the cloud native space, but also we contribute back to the same space, and we consume them, right? So we also come here to keep learning, keep updating ourselves in terms of the technology, and also keep growing the networking, the community, and supporting the effort. So that's the main purpose why we're here. But the second purpose why we're here is because we built the platform that we are not only going to open source in the short future, but we also are looking for feedback from the community and how we can, of course, use that to make it better, and of course, then be able to open source it properly. But first, I would like to share my screen real quick and kind of explain what we're doing. So give me a
Yeah,
second. I'm
let's jump on onto that. But one of the things that we say and it's not it's just DevOps, right? Because that's one of the other concerns that a lot of developers tend to do. And in the industry, we say DevSecOps, we say DevBarSecOps or DevBarOps. Why is not that many intermediate words within, but it's just DevOps?
So yeah, and that's kind of like the reason why so let me share the screen. So maybe this gonna sync better with the audience. So let me give me 1 second. I'm gonna click here. Let me know if you can see my screen. You
Yeah,
all see
we
it?
can see. Yep.
Perfect. So like Jose started, right? So why our mantra is unleash the DevOps here in every developer. And the reason is because if you notice in today's day, basically it's very fast paced and companies are trying to keep up with the pace, develop and ship product faster, but it's not possible. So let's put something in your mind. So what if right? What if you can actually have a platform that now not only helps you as a DevOps, but also as a developer to accomplish those tasks faster, and then you can basically be on the same pace that other companies are, maybe more resources or what have you. So before we get into this, I want to just share a couple of slides here because I think this is going to explain the reason why we're working on this and the reason why also is saying that we want to unleash, the DevOps here in every developer. So look at this screen, right, real quick here, and notice that there's two type of companies, right? The ones that are actually, um, driving and basically making all their technology super fast, they ship it code faster, they have enhanced security, all their access is actually great, and they innovate very rapidly. But then you have in your left hand side, those companies that the infrastructure, they're lacking in infrastructure, they're having problems, they're having problems, and security, of course, is not the best hat. So, but the most interesting data here is that there's more companies, unfortunately, in the left hand side than the right hand side. So the point here that we're trying to do is how can we make more companies, coming from the 60% to the 40%, so they can basically excel like the other company. And for that, you basically have this challenge in front of you, which is like this. There's just not enough DevOps. And DevOps is the key to answer your question also to unlock innovation, to basically make things automated, to make sure that you can actually have a proper development life cycle, that you can have all these benefits that will help you as a company to drive and to actually get better innovation. And if you can see here, there's just not enough of them. So to this point, this is where our idea of building this platform comes in. Is that basically a engineering platform based on DevOps methodologies and culture to make sure that now you as a company can excel on those specific items. Now, let me give you one example, Jose, and please, Jose, you can stop me here at any given time if you want me to explain more here. But this is a normal cycle of software, right? So you code, and then you have to take care of cloud, cluster, pipeline, security, whatsoever. And if this is just a simple example of how many things you need to take care during the software life cycle. So notice that now you basically have to start entering in phases where you need a specialized talent, right? And there's not just enough of them out there. So now, what we're trying to accomplish here with the cloud platform is like, can we just now streamline that part? Can we now make, the cloud cluster pipeline all the way to scale automated by software? So in principle, we're using exactly what a rapid innovation company, is looking for, is using software to produce software, right? And you still need to code, right? We will never be able to, just come up with code out of the AI and coming out of your talk here the conference hosted like that. I mean, AI has to have a value, has to have a purpose, right? So I wouldn't bring AI to basically code for me automatically, but I would love to use, automation and AI as we do in Cuemby to basically how we can speed up this process that are the value of automating them does bring, the overall value to the organization. So I'm gonna pause here to see if there's any thoughts or comments or questions. If you want to can also be done on this.
Yes, I think I have a comment. So when I talk about the platform, Cuemby Cloud platform, people, the first thing they ask is, "Oh, is this a CI/CD tool?" And the answer is no. And then this really clarifies this, page clarifies that it's just a portion of what we take care of. So, Angel, thank you for clarifying that, because that's the first thing I always, you know, um, being asked.
Actually, that's a great point that you're being covered, because if someone would say, okay, well, so you are doing CI/CD, yes, that's one portion of it, but now let's think about this. You told me for a second. So when you're doing the whole DevOps experience, DevOps, where it starts and where it stops. And to your point, yes, most people think about DevOps as a CI/CD tool, and that's just not right. So DevOps actually is just a culture that you apply across the entire organization. So it could even go and apply DevOps to sales. You can apply DevOps to marketing. You can apply DevOps everywhere that actually allows you to use software automation to improve your process. So now this is what we applying at the platform. So we're not applying it to the pipeline. We're applying it everywhere we can that makes sense, right? So we always have to make sure that we understand that you don't want to overdo it, but whatever makes sense, you apply the DevOps culture. So it's just not pipelines. It's more than that. Now let's play devil's advocate, right? So oh, but I want to do it myself. Sure, go ahead. So this is the time that will take you. So, and this is like, I mean, I know there might be companies that can say, well, I can do it in less than that in English, so I don't need 8 months. Yes, but if you're in that company, you basically have the 40% or basically a different percentage. But if you are a company in the 60%, definitely will take you that long, right? Why? Because you have people that need experience. Because then you're gonna start asking questions. Okay, so this is not even about asking like, oh, I want to use AWS, I want to use Google, I want to use X, Y, and Z. It doesn't matter at this point. That question really doesn't play any role here. Because even if you use any of the cloud providers, that's okay. You still need to use them. But the point is how you combine them, how you just because you have all the sauces and all the recipe to cook doesn't mean that you know how to do it. You know how to combine it. So this is kind of the same analogy that we're applying here. So what we're doing is we're basically giving you the full meal already served, so you just eat it. That's fine, right? So this is what we're doing here in Cuemby platform. We're just putting everything together, so you just use it, and we don't want you to even worry about like, oh, should I use Tecton? Should I use I don't know CircleCI? Should I whatever you think you want Jenkins? So we giving you all the tools to get it already blue, so you can just use it.
So basically, what you're saying, guys, is that with Cuemby Cloud Platform, you're cutting out the silos.
Definitely, yeah. You're not only cutting out the silos, but you basically already removing the learning curve of most of the tools that are involved in this process.
Maybe he told me you had another question.
Yes, I was gonna wait till Angel goes to different pages and ask. So I'll just wait. I'll hold my questions.
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
The burning
so
questions are coming. The burning questions are coming.
Yes.
actually, I have a few slides that I want to show here because now how are we gonna take this approach, right? So we strongly believe that in order to unleash a superhero in every developer, you need to give them superpowers, right? So it's just not about like talking, oh, I'm Superman or I'm Wonder Woman. It doesn't matter. So you need to have specific superpowers in order to for us to say, okay, this platform encapsulates everything we need. So the first thing that we say is, okay, we need to basically respond fast. We need to make sure that if I'm deploying, it shouldn't take that long. So this is the superpower that we call the sorry about that. We call the rapid response range, right? So it's the way for us to say that CCP deploy just fast, right? So we don't want you to hold on. We don't want you to take long for that. Now, what we say fast, and fast is not about only speed. It's about also how much how much configuration and how much time takes me to basically use it. And I'm going to show you in a second. So we basically want for you to do the less steps required in order for you to deploy. So that means that we already making configurations out of the box are configured for you to just deploy. Now, if you want to after that, configure, advance, and create your own stuff on top of it, fine. But at least out of the box, you can just deploy. That's our first superpower. Second one is, of course, automation. We're talking about DevOps. You can leave automation out in play. So what we mean with automation is we want to make sure that you don't have to repeat yourself. If you can basically do one thing twice, that means that we need to automate it for you. So that's what the platform is here for. So if you already connected your repository and you already connected your GitHub repo to the application and you already deployed once, Everything else needs to be automated after that, meaning that if you set up a rule and say, hey, anything that is deployed to this branch should be deployed automatically. That's fine. That's what automation means. So we want you to repeat yourself. And that's your second superpower. And by the way, you can stop me anytime, Tim.
I
The
have
third
to
one
stop you
is,
there. So that means
go ahead.
so that means it's only once that you have to do it.
Correct. So what we do in the platform is that we want you to do the least. I mean, if you're doing something more than once, the platform will automate it for you. We don't want you to repeat yourself in regular tasks, right? So that's basically what the automation means. Because if you're doing one thing with just one step, right? But if you're doing the same thing multiple times, there's something wrong there, and that's the superpower that we need to basically bring into the platform.
I like this one. That's like key component. And it's part of
Yeah,
security,
Yes,
no?
I'm sure you too like them because definitely if there's no security, there's nothing here. So we have to make sure that everything is secure and everything in terms of like from the ground zero, meaning infrastructure, all the way to the platform level, have to be secure. So we don't want to traffic in ourselves. So that means that when we deploy and when we put CCP in someone's infrastructure, CCP basically has to be like zero trust all the way from the ground up. Something interesting here, and maybe I'll turn this into like kind of like a trivia each. So when we're talking about security, right? Where do you think security lays? It lays on the code, on the container, on the cluster, or the cloud? Tricky
If
question.
you trust, if you have zero trust, you have to do it all layers, I guess.
Okay, there you go. Also, you passed. Yes, absolutely. So you basically have to do all the above. So there's not one layer that you need to basically trust. So this is the same approach that we take at the when we build the platform, and that basically gives you the baseline. Now, of course, there is what we call the shared security and the shared Yes, shared security and shared compliance, meaning that the platform is giving you all these layers, but when someone deploys their code in the platform by default will tell them, hey, there's some stuff here that it might not be right, but we cannot change your code, so we're just gonna let you know. But to your point, most of the time, and even when using other solutions, platforms cannot give you 100% certainty of security because it's your code, right? So, but ours give you exactly where you're missing up, where's the problem, and you basically can take care of it and fix it. Cool. All right, let's move on to the next
Perfect.
one.
All day security.
All the security. We got the inside in there, and this is important. So I love the point where sometimes I'm talking to different folks, and you know they most of the people think, oh, deployment stops when I deploy, so that's it. That I deploy, good to go, let's go home. Uh, no, actually, that's worse. That's because you have basically to know exactly what's going on in the system at all times in order to actually make it, useful. So that's why when we build the platform, we build it with basically observability in mind. Make sure that you can see everything. So when I mean everything is that you need to understand your infrastructure from the data standpoint, you need to understand your code, you need to understand your network, and you need to understand everything what's going on inside. So basically build a whole, observability system using cloud native tools in Kubernetes, basically lay it out for you so you can basically get all the insight that you need so you can make decisions almost real time. All right. So that let's go to the next superpower because this one people might think, oh, why we need it's a dashboard superpower or no? So actually, a question: Also, he told me, do you think that having a UI is a superpower or not? What do you think?
Of course, I guess.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
if it's hard to get on board, if it's boring, it's not so good.
Yeah, I think it's a superpower because, if you're, like for instance, if you're a very experienced DevOps, I'm sure that they will use CLI, but engineers that are not too familiar with DevOps, chances are maybe they will use it, but not so often. Maybe intuitive UI will be um, a better tool for them. So I think having a control plane is a better way to will give more access, and then yeah, to be able to manipulate the whole like DevOps steps and processes. I think.
Awesome. I actually love the way that you took the Hitomi because that's exactly what happens. So um, the thing is, this doesn't mean that you don't have all the type of like, interaction with the platform. So you have APIs, CLIs, and all that. But the reason why we choose to have the dashboard or the UI in this case as a superpower is because that basically gives the ability and the accessibility to those that are not experts to interact with the system without having to learn it. Because the way that we build the dashboard, you don't even know that basically behind it. You don't even know that there's a lot of tools that we glue together on from the CNCF landscape in order to make it work. All you know is that, oh, I can here see all my repos, here I can see all my applications, and here I can see my logs, I can see my metrics. That's it. That's all you need to know, right? Because that's the whole point of what we're trying to unleash the DevOps superpowers in everyone is to make sure that they don't have to learn the whole thing. They don't have to become experts. They could become experts later. That's fine, and we want them to be. Sometimes we have different conversations with different platforms or different systems where their point is not to make them experts, so you could continue using it. But in our case, our platform is not defined by how expert you are. The platform is defined how much you want to customize it when you are an expert. So if you're an expert, now you can go and basically make even more to suit it to your need. Um, that's the whole point of platform here. So that's why we think dashboard is a superpower because it basically give you that first accessibility. Go ahead, do it first. Don't worry about the rest, and then as you become comfortable and understandable about the system, now you can basically make it even more your own. So awesome. And this is one of my favorites. But anyways, it's continue. So the Magic Magician. This is interesting, right? Because we're not stopping. No, here's a platform, and that's it. No, we took it one step further and say, how can we now tailor this platform into different industries. So let's say fintech. Fintech, of course, we need to interact with a set of different solutions, third parties, or maybe there's some specific needs on that in the industry that we can solve by using all these tools. And instead of them having to spend time and money in building it, they can just use it right in the same platform. So for us, this is definitely a superpower because it will basically take a fintech that might need 12 months to build a product, reduce that back down to like 3 or less, depends on how complex their system will be. So that's for me, it's a superpower. I don't know what you think, Jose, especially that you've been working with the Russia fintech community.
In fact, Angel, I think being a magician, and we just ended up a webinar in Rise of Fintech, that it was being a magician, and sometimes you have to pull out something. And usually, the teams and when companies are in a stressful situation, they have to bring up the solution at the right moment, at the right time, at the right place with security. And this is what I think people are standing by when we talk about being magicians. And it's
Mm-hmm.
in a way the situation and what happens into every single organization every single day. We have to be magicians and bring up some sort of solution. Am I right? I guess.
Absolutely. Do we have any thought there?
I'm good.
No. All right. So this is my second favorite, which is basically the infrastructure innovator. Uh, Definitely, a lot of people love Legos. Right? And the reason why people love Legos, they're fun, but also because it's a way for you to build stuff in a very simple way. Right? So you basically can build whatever you want with them. This is the same approach that we're taking with the infrastructure. Most of the time when we're talking to different companies, we notice that infrastructure is one of the biggest pain points. But we're not looking at infrastructure as just like, okay, so this is a bunch of servers, we put them together, that's it. It's more than that. It's how can we make those resources effective? How can we bring them when we need them? How can we make them efficient, right? So we don't pay for what we don't what we're using. But also tied to that, and the reason why we get KubeCon is because we're also being involved with a group related to sustainability. We even run some meetups in Colombia related to that because we also want to be efficient, right? We want to make sure that we're not um, consuming more power than we should, and we also want to make sure that we know exactly how much power we consume in every time, so we can be conscious with this with the earth, with the environment, and in that way we can basically not only build great infrastructure but also efficient and sustainable infrastructure. I don't know if you have any thoughts there. You tell me also.
Yes. So, if you set up infrastructure, the hot topic right now is Kubernetes. And, you know, do we need to have knowledge of Kubernetes? Like when I was introducing, talking to people about Cuemby Cloud Platform, they're wondering like how much knowledge do I need to have in cloud native technologies, to be able to, use your tool. And then I don't know, enjoy if you could talk a little bit about that.
No, that's it. That's the whole idea of what we build in this. Is like the platform can be used at different stages of your knowledge. But our main goal is to that you can use it now, even if you don't have an idea about Kubernetes. That's basically the main purpose now. If you already know about Kubernetes, great, you're gonna get a lot even more benefit out of it. And if you're an expert, great, because you're gonna make it even better. So we just don't want that the Kubernetes expertise to be a barrier for you to adopt it. We want you to make sure that you can use it at any stage. But any stage, you're gonna basically take a different benefit out of it.
In fact,
Great.
what you say, sorry, Tommy, go ahead.
No, 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 no. Go ahead. I have another question. So.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying because usually people say that something is not inclusive in the sense that if it's Kubernetes or not, but usually it's so powerful when you don't know something and are working at a pace that you're going to learn on and on and on. And what you say, Angel, is so powerful to say, hey, you don't know Kubernetes, doesn't matter. The learning curve will bring you down and is going to excel your workforce. Well, when you start to implement Kubernetes and also understand Kubernetes.
Exactly. Go ahead, Tony, you have another question.
Yeah, so nowadays companies have multiple, cloud strategies. Hybrid cloud. You have like service all over the world. To use Cuemby Cloud Platform, are you able to like support that? Support different strategies that companies are adopting?
Absolutely. The reason why I can say absolutely is because, and then maybe this is one of the benefits that you should know about Kubernetes, but not having to be an expert, is that Kubernetes by itself is agnostic. So it doesn't really matter if you're running it on Google, Amazon, Azure, Equinix, like we do, or even if you want to run it in the Raspberry Pi. So you can just run it everywhere. So that means that when you set up CCP, you can just take it anywhere, and you can even spread that out across multiple strategies. So actually, that is one of the biggest benefits, and I like the way that I was in a talk with Datadog. Basically share the experience of how they use Kubernetes and how, and the reason why they use multiple cloud providers is because they first use it for benchmarking to understand how they behave. Because if you're going to test it, you didn't know. Two, because of course they have multiple clients and different clients, and some clients have some preference. Okay, and the third reason is because you want to be reliable. I remember that 2 years ago, saying that AWS was going to be down was like basically that was a heresy. Like, how can you say that? That would never happen, and that's something that been happening quite often. And not only AWS, like multiple cloud providers. Like the thing is, like we're consuming so much resources lately that no one is exempt for basically having downtime or having an outage or having any type of issue on their services that will stop. So as company, if we want to make sure that we are reliable to our users, definitely I would suggest to have a multi-cloud strategy always. Um, it's not enough anymore to be multi-region. I remember that before it was like, oh, I'm multi-zone. I mean, the same data centers in different racks. Cool. Then, oh, I'm multi-region. I mean, the same cloud provider, different regions. Great. Now we're talking about that you might have to be multi-cloud providers, and just in case something happens, your system or your basically downtime it doesn't go that far. Any other question there?
It's as simple as a Lego, basically. So everyone can do it. There you go.
I'm gonna go to the last one because I want to give you a kind of like a sneak peek of the platform. So right here is the reliability, which is the one that we were just talking about. So that's why I wanted to go to the last one right away because we already covered it with Tony's question. So our platform wants to make sure that even if you're not using it, is always watching to see how reliable you can be. Now, caveat. If you, for example, say I'm installing CCP only one cluster, one node in one region, that's not much reliability that we can do. But the platform itself is available and it have the features for you to like say, can I spread this into multiple ones? Yes, it could, and it actually help you do that. But if you're just one cluster, one region, there's not much we can do. But the platform itself have the feature, so I wanted to just point that out.
Great. Awesome.
All right, awesome. So I'm going to now, if you allow me, jump into the quick demo that I have here. So you still see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
All right, awesome. All right, so and I'm assuming that you're looking at the platform.
I don't see the platform.
Not yet.
Okay, so let me then reshare my screen, and this time share the platform because I think I was just sharing one window. All right, so now you can see the platform.
Yep. Yep, you can see.
Okay, perfect. All right, so like I said, I'm gonna be brief. I just want to give you a sneak peek, and wait, this is our beta platform. So welcome everyone to join. I would love to. There's a link three. I think it's Cuemby, if I'm not mistaken, right? There you go. I did it right. So I invite you everyone to join to this link and give us a try. Just at least to like give us feedback. Please sign up. We're gonna be also doing live dinner tomorrow here at the Equity Booth. I'm inviting everyone to either live or inside to join us. Here's the link, and we're gonna be doing trivia. We're gonna be doing giveaway. So please join and with that, I'm just going to go back to the platform.
And it's going to
And
be a lot of surprises.
yes,
So please follow us there. Um, Connect and hopefully be prepared to deploy. No.
let's deploy. So I'm gonna go to first the application that I have here. Then give this speaker. There you go. So it's a simple application. It's a weather application, right? So we don't need to know where, how is the weather. Okay, it's an API. Then we can build the application later. But I just want to just quick go to the code, and because I wanted to show you the one that is running, and I want to show you how I can just deploy it again, doing different strategies. So right here, I have an application that have multiple endpoints like ready, alive, and then have the weather, um, and that's how I access the application. So to show you how that works, I'm gonna go to this app organization. By the way, you can have multiple organizations, you can have multiple players, so it's basically very simple for you to distribute your teams and have everything separate. So I'm gonna go to my pipelines, which is where the magic happens. I'm gonna go to my applications. I'm gonna show you real quick. So I have the Weather API application, I have the Weather API version 2, I have that in there. Then I have environments right here. We can have develop the staging, and then my runtime. Runtime means everything is like now run. So I'm gonna go to develop real quick. I believe this is the one that I had running. So let's open it. You might think, oh, it doesn't work. Remember that we have to do weather and then city, and you see Chicago. Right, perfect. So it's a little chilly here in Chicago compared to where we are. Let's say Miami, where it's a little better. This is in Celsius, so it's kind of like a little higher in Fahrenheit. And let's say, let's talk about Medellin. There you go. Medellin is it's also nice. Cool. All right. So why I'm showing this, because what I want to do is I want to deploy another version of this application, but this time I don't want to use the slash weather for me to grab the city. I want to be able to basically to say, hey, you know what? I want to just do it like this without the weather, just slash city. Or if we want to do even more, let's say we want to, you know what? Uh, let's do weather, and then let's do let's change the weather for something else, just to make it simple. I don't want to spend too much time coding because that's not the purpose. So if I have to do that, all I have to do is just go and edit my file. And I'm gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna change the weather to W. I just want to shortcut the function to make sure that I can just do that. And I'm gonna save this real quick. Let me find the commit changes. And I'm gonna now, because I'm testing. This is the interesting part. I don't want to do it on the live application. I want to test something first, right? So I'm going to create a new branch. I'm gonna say this is like a testing branch, like this. Which testing or something like this. A new API path. I'm just gonna put this. So this is gonna basically make a new branch with my changes, right? And I'm gonna say just testing a new path, right? I'm creating a pull request just to make sure before I do anything, before I merge that PR, I want to test the live. So for me to test the live, I'm gonna go here. And the interesting part is the application itself, I already have it. Applications are like templates. It's a way for us to basically define how the application will behave, but then I use runtime to actually deploy them. So because the application, I didn't change anything on the configuration, this is the reason why you don't have to do it twice if you already do it once. The application is already defined the way that it's supposed to do it. I have my API key to connect to the other weather API. I have my port defined. I don't need to change anything here. I just need to deploy a new runtime. So this is where I just need to focus on one task at a time. So I'm gonna create now a new runtime. I'm gonna select the weather API. Cool. There you go. I'm going to next. And then I'm gonna set now the new branch. If you see, now I have a new branch, future new API path. Select that one, I click TCP, I go ahead, go to the environment develop, it's still in development. I'm not doing anything to production just yet. So I'm gonna click here. I already got a feedback that I'm able to create this frontend. And I'm just gonna keep create. Just give it a second. I'm gonna close this here. I'm gonna open this tab. So while it's deploying, I'm gonna show you, it's like you have metrics, you have logs, everything that is gonna happen here. So you can see it. That now is we're getting the pipeline to kick in. So nothing is happening so far. You just need to wait. While we're waiting, welcome any questions right now. So because this is gonna take like a minute or two. And the reason why it's taking a minute or two, and I'm gonna show you in a second, is because it's doing all these steps. So it's pulling the repo, it's building the artifact, which is the container image. This means that it's doing basically all for you, pipeline stuff. It generates some artifacts for deployment, creating the service inside Kubernetes. It's also creating an issuer. This is very important because sometimes we just deploy things in Kubernetes, but we don't forget about certificates and all that. And I understand those are a pain to basically deal with, but we're doing that for you. And we also have our own service called Aduana, which allows you to drive traffic between different services, and then at the end we just apply, and that should be it. But in the meantime, you just give it a second, and welcome any questions as well.
For me, it's very straightforward. I think it's so easy, and even someone that is not an expert can do it. No, it's
Correct.
very
Yeah,
intuitive.
that's the
Very intuitive.
that's the purpose. That's the purpose. Actually, I'm gonna open this in I'm gonna leave this here in a second. I'm gonna open this in a. I want to open a new tab because I want to give you a tour. Well, I can just do it here. I'm gonna give you a tool real quick. Like for example, this is where I do my integration. So the way that you saw that I was able to pick up that little story is because I came here, I click on add, and then I'll say I want to add my Cuemby repositories. I click on GitHub, and then this allows me to basically search all my organization, and then just be able to add my Cuemby, my whole organization that I have. There you go. You go to see I have my personal one and I have organization that I can add. So I selected Plan B, so I can just click Plan B, and then I hit update, and then I got a new Plan B organization token generated. So this is the power of simplicity. So you don't have to think about the how it's done underneath. You basically are just able to do it pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Right? And one thing more that I'm going to show you in a second is the okay, so right here. So this system is an API first, meaning that if you say, hey, you know what, can I create my own integrations? Can I just, find, let's say I have a system and I want to talk to your system, but I don't want to do it through UI, I want to do it through an API. Well, yes, you are an API first company. So basically you click create, you name your token, your API key, let's say new API. You give it, of course, a time frame that API will leave because API keys shouldn't be um, you know, living forever. And then you say, hey, I want to only be able to create metrics. Actually, you know what? Read metrics. I want to read logs, read runtimes, read application, and I want to read none. With that, you could create, and then basically you're just going to give you a new API token that you can copy, use, and basically interact with the system. That's how we also talk to the system. That's one of the features. The other feature is basically you can, of course, invite users. You can create roles. We give you two roles by default, developer and stakeholder, basically. Like I said, we have we start with basic templating that you can use out of the box. You don't have to think about it, but if you need something specific, then you can go out and create your own roles, people that might have different access, and then you have the user that you can run here. So let's go back a second and see if everything is deployed ready so I can show you the application running. There you go. Okay, well, there you go. That's done. That's done 5 minutes. Um, that's good. So you can see here the information is still the one that we wanted. So we should be just clicking here. Of course, it says page not found because remember we need to say slash whether. Oh, sorry, W. Then we say the city, and now let's say what Los Angeles. There you go. Oh, it's nice, nice in Los Angeles. There you go. So this is basically the way for you to have a workflow where you can be deploying applications as you need. And I basically didn't took more than 5 minutes for me to test that actually my code works and everything went well. I didn't have to spend time setting up a pipeline. I didn't have to think about should I use this, X, Y, and Z, this tooling, this sort of tooling. I just did it once. If I don't need it anymore, I can just remove it, and that's it, basically. And this is basically the demo that I have for you today. I think we are almost right on time. Uh, so I don't know if there's any final question before we wrap up.
We just basically DevOps it, right?
You can say that.
Okay, okay. So usually this takes at least, like you were saying before, 8 months.
Yeah. Even if I took more than 10 minutes, it's still less than 8 months.
True that. True that. Thank you, Angel.
Yes. Thank you so much.
You're more than welcome.
So I guess people will ask, what's next? I think what's next is like tomorrow we'll be announcing a place and a right time. We have amazing gifts. We're going to be at Equinix booth. We don't know yet. It depends. So keep on track of our social media, our link tree, and we will be announcing where are we going to be next and how to unleash another DevOps superhero power. Okay, guys?
Yes. Great. And then before we go, actually, I have one thing. So, our this Cuemby Cloud platform is in beta, and then we need everybody to use it and test out the product. So definitely register with a platform. I take care of the product. So I would love to hear from you so that we can improve. So definitely use the link and then learn about the product. So I can learn from you, what's working, what you want to see in the future. So, please, check it out and reach out to us.
Absolutely. And if you are someone that likes to help us out and contribute on how to open source it in the process, definitely we would love to hear from you. Like I said, we want to do things the right way. We hear a lot complaints about companies that open source and then close source and then change license. So we definitely want to do it the right way. So if there's anyone out there that is interesting and supporting, helping during this process, more than welcome. Because we want to make sure that everything is done right, and we consider ourselves a community first company. We'll be building communities and helping communities across the Latin America, and we will do and continue doing that for the rest of the time. Because definitely we believe in community. So let us know.
Thank
Awesome.
you very much. Okay, guys.
All right.
Thank
I'll
you.
see you around
Okay.
and thank you for taking the time. Let's let's
Thank,
continue cubing.
thank you. Thank you, everyone.